Welcome to geothoughts.eu. Here are the highlights of geopolitical developments between October 24th and 30th. Russia announced that it pulled out of the grain deal after the Ukrainian drone attack on the Russian Black Sea Fleet. In a letter sent to the UN, the Kremlin said that the civilian ships are insecure under these current circumstances. In response, the US, the EU, and NATO urged Russia to reverse its decision, indicating a possible global food crisis. The UN-brokered deal was agreed in September 2022, which allowed the exportation of Ukrainian grain as it ended the Russian blockade on Ukrainian ports. The deal had helped global food prices to go down by 15% since the war started. In Brazil, leftist leader Lula da Silva defeated far-right Bolsonaro in historic elections and won his third presidential term. Yet, Bolsonaro has not conceded defeat, raising concerns over his reluctance to transfer power. Lula da Silva had served as president between 2003 and 2010 but was sentenced to jail after Brazil's biggest corruption scandal. During his term, Brazil expanded its oil industry and became the sixth largest economy in the world. His victory is critical as he revived hopes for the restoration of Brazilian democracy and indigenous and minority rights. Chinese President Xi Jinping said that he is willing to work with Washington for the mutual benefit of both major powers. He also said both sides should increase communication and cooperation for world stability. Both superpowers have been at odds over Taiwan since U.S. House Speaker Pelosi visited Taipei, which escalated political tensions and military activity in the region. Yet, U.S. President Biden also declared that he does not seek conflict with Beijing. Both Xi and Biden are expected to meet at the G20 summit in Bali in November. South Korean Vice Foreign Minister Cho said that the United States, Japan, and South Korea say that an unparalleled scale of responses will be taken if North Korea holds another nuclear test. North Korea held its first nuclear test in 2006 and the last one in 2017. In the previous weeks, Pyongyang had fired several ballistic missiles over the Sea of Japan, which alerted U.S. allies in the region. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni said that the only way to facilitate peace is to help Kyiv in its war against Russia. Meloni has demonstrated her support for Ukraine since she took office despite her Russia sympathizer coalition partners Salvini and Berlusconi. Before her election as prime minister, her political views regarding the EU and NATO had raised concerns in Brussels as she criticized both institutions. The last development of this week comes from the Eastern Mediterranean. Lebanese President Lawan said that the U.S.-brokered deal that sets maritime borders between Lebanon and Israel will not change Beirut's foreign policy. Both countries are officially in a state of war since there is no peace treaty enforced after the war in 2006. In previous years, several Arab countries had taken steps to normalize relations with Israel, including the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Oman. That was all for last week's top geopolitical developments from across the world. Thank you for watching. See you next week.